Hi, everyone. This is a demo for exercise 7, which I'll also write out in instructions for you. So the first thing you have to do is download a file called for exercise 7 lines 150 PPI, and it's a TIFF file. Once you've downloaded it, open it in Photoshop. So I'm just dragging it to my Photoshop application. There it is. This exercise is about making clipping masks and painting on a clipping mask, and also using a quick mask to isolate areas, and then to do fills on the image so that you can fill areas that are bounded by a line. So the first thing I'm going to do is create the clipping mask. So you can go to make a new layer above the layer with the lines. And I'm going to call that layer lines. And the second layer I'm going to make a clipping mask. And the way you do that is you have to go into the drop-down menu in the layers palette. So go to create clipping mask in the layers palette. And then you'll be able to paint on just the lines. So the mask clips to the lines. So I'll show you, I go into a pink color so that you can see me doing it. And I would suggest for this that you decide on some sort of scheme. For instance, the lines are going to be warm colors like pinks, oranges, yellow, kinds of colors. And maybe the background will be cooler colors. So with that in mind, I'm going to choose a brush, and you have to go to the brush tool and choose a brush that will paint the lines easily. So I'm going to choose for this a hard brown brush, very simple, and make it the size that you need to just paint. I'm going to bring it down here to just paint the width of a line or two, because you'll see that all the lines can be painted. So when you have an intersection area, it will also paint those lines. So you want to be able to control, so you don't want a very big brush. And I'll paint this, I'll paint these interesting lines that were made by the scroll pen. And as I said, you can check in the lower part of your toolbar, the foreground color, it's the pink. And I'm painting on the clipping mask layer. And let's see, you have to paint on the clipping mask. And you need to have the opacity up to 100% so you can really see it. And your mode should be normal. The painting mode should be normal. Now you'll have more, you can be more accurate. I'm painting with my mouse just because in Zoom, it makes my Wacom tablet very slow. So what I'm doing here, you'll be able to do more accurately with your tablet. And I'll do a little bit more so you can see me. I'm choosing warm colors, as I said. For the foreground lines. And painting on the clipping mask. Maybe I'll make this piece of wood brown, and this is where you have to be very careful because you can paint easily, but you can undo or paint over them. But it's very easy to paint other lines because all the lines become susceptible. all the lines that have been clipped to are. Like right here, I might even want to zoom in so that I can see easier what lines I'm painting, and go back to the paintbrush and notice that it's a little big. So I use the backwards bracket to paint this. Notice I'm very carefully painting the line that I want to paint. But if I was to move over, or for instance, right here, and there's a key in here, and I move over a little bit, notice that I've also painted that line. So, and I didn't want to. So maybe I want that the key to be a red. So I go to red, sample that, and now I can paint the key. So you can fix if you went onto a line that you didn't want to, but it's better to use a small brush, of course. So okay, I'm trying to just do this area so that I can show you in a minute what other capacity this method has. So the other thing we're going to do is fill areas. So you can see how to do the whole painting. So you're going to paint the lines, and then you're going to, with the magic wand, fill areas. And I'm selecting, as I said I would, warm colors. And I'll do one more part of this, maybe with yellow, and then I'll do some filling. So now I've this branch I'm making yellow, or maybe I'll make it you can change your mind, a light green, but it's still sort of a warm green. Okay, now if I want to do some of the background, I want different areas to be able to control the areas. So I'm going to choose with the magic wand areas to fill. And in order to do that, you're going to use the magic wand tool, which is in the fourth group down with the quick selection tool. So go all the way down to the bottom and choose magic wand. And if you notice, if I try to select an area, it selects because it's bounded by, but I don't want to be on the line layer or the clipping mask layer. I want to be on another layer called fills. So I'm going to create another layer, and that'll be above layer 1. And then for the I'm going to make it a tolerance, a fairly large tolerance, so that we'll see if that will get all the little white near the lines, all the little, any kind of sticking out parts. And then you must have contiguous checked and sample all layers. And you're sampling down through the layers. But we're going to make the fills only on layer 2. So actually we should lock, in this case, the line layer, so that lock, so that you don't work on the line layer or the clipping mask layer. And I'm going to, as I said, make all the background cool colors. So I'll choose a cool color. And I'm going to dump color into those areas. To do that, I'm using the paint bucket tool, which is in with the gradient. So you can start dumping colors as you choose the areas. And you have to go back and forth with the paint bucket. Maybe you even want to choose some tiny little areas to make it look more realistic. If you hold shift, I think you can do a multiple selection, and notice that I can dump color in, and it should actually fill both those little areas, but maybe it won't. It selected the line because I clicked on the wrong place. So you obviously, in this case, I need to go way in, and you don't want to click on the line, although the line is locked. It shouldn't have done that, so I'm going to go backwards. So let's say that I want to, I'll do that later. I'm deselecting right now. But let's say that I want a large background area. And I'm going to click on a larger area, but I just really want the leaf area, let's say. And I don't want it to extend past. I'm just looking for this big leaf area. So one of the ways that you can see what you have selected is to go to the quick mask, and it'll show you everything that was selected. And I should still have contiguous checked. Yes. So, and sample all layers, otherwise it won't work. So I don't want all of this. You can paint out with the quick mask the area that you don't want. Black, notice that when you go into quick mask, which is the rectangle with the little circle in it at the bottom of the toolbar, black and white come up. If gray comes up instead, you can actually change it to black by going into your color or swatches palette and choosing black. So black takes away from the selection and white adds to the selection. The controls of quick mask are, you can double click on the quick mask and you'll see that quick mask options comes up. The masked areas are red. So the selected areas will appear white, not covered with red. The opacity of the red should be at about 50%. That's the default actually. And that way you can see the line drawing showing through, so you can see what you're painting in or out. So when you go into quick mask, black takes away from the selection when you paint with black, and white adds to the selection. So if you use the paintbrush, you can paint out what you don't want of this selection. Notice all of the white right now is selected. So in this case, I'm going to use a big, hard, round brush, and I'm just going to paint out everything that I don't want. And now I'll make the brush a little bit smaller so I can become a lot more accurate with my painting. Making exactly the selection that I wanted. A lot of the time, you'll be able to select right up to a line as long as your area is bounded with a contiguous line that's not broken, you can select it with the magic wand tool, that area. But if it's not, you'll have to use the quick mask to control what you want to be filled. Now you can't fill it until you toggle out of the quick mask. So click on the quick mask again, and now you can dump color into it. And I'm going to choose a green since this is a leaf. So go into green, choose green in your palette, and go up to the paint bucket and dump color into it. So for a larger area, maybe you do want to choose a very large background area again. So I'll show you what happens. I'm going to go up to the magic wand, and I will select this area, which is a top area. To check it, I'm going to go to the quick mask, and it's selected pretty much the area I wanted it to, which is just the top area. So now I'm going to put a light blue into that area. You have to toggle out of the quick mask. I just did that to see what I had selected. And I'm going to go to a light blue, and I'm just going to dump that color in. So I want you to do a painting using painting the lines and painting background areas using the magic wand to select areas. If you don't like how much is selected, use the quick mask to paint out parts of the selection. You can also toggle when you're in quick mask. You can toggle between the black and the white with a little arrow above the black and the white boxes, the foreground and the background color. So you can change what your paintbrush is painting. You can paint back in parts of your selection with white. Then save it as exercise 7. And since I'd like to see your layers, keep it as a Photoshop file, PSD, and turn it in. I'll try to finish one of these and put it up into the files as finished exercise 7 so that you can see the result of painting the lines with clipping mask and filling on another layer. You want to make sure that you keep the two separate. So I'm going to go out of the quick mask so you can see what I've done and end this demo. Thank you.